Greetings to all my dear students. Today we will discuss about the events in sexual reproduction. We have started sexual reproduction topic in the last class. Now first let's take up some of your queries regarding the notes. Kindly make your personal notes with reference to the explanation given in the video. Refer to NCERT book while writing down the notes also and while writing down the answers also. Okay. Now regarding the audio video which is not clear, I am trying my level best. Okay, hope from the next video you will not find or you will not face any such difficulty. Okay, now in the last class we studied about vegetative propagation, vegetative propagules, micropropagation, artificial and natural method of vegetative propagation. Then we studied about uh, three phases of the lifespan. Okay. Now there was one query regarding the vegetative phase of the annual and the perennial plants, which one has the shorter juvenile phase, that is the vegetative phase. Now first we will study, in fact we have studied in the last class what is the difference between the monocarpic and the polycarpic. Now monocarpic are those plants which flower once in their life, that means they die after flowering and fruiting, and polycarpic are which flower repeatedly at intervals. Now both these annual and biennial are monocarpic in nature. Both annual and the biennial are the monocarpic in nature. Now what are the annual plants? Annual plants complete their life cycle in one growing season, and biennial complete their life cycle in two growing season, whereas the perennial plants live for more than 2 years, and the duration of the vegetative phase varies from few years to several years. Okay, so some of the perennial plants are monocarpic in nature. Okay, so we can say that the annual plants have a shorter juvenile phase, that is the vegetative phase, because it has to complete its life cycle in within one season, whereas the perennial plants live for more than 2 years, and their duration of the vegetative phase varies from few years to the several years. Now some plants exhibit unusual flowering, that means these are some perennial plants which are monocarpic in nature. One is the bamboo species. These two are often asked in your exam. So bamboos remain vegetative for 50 to 100 years, they then flower, fruit and die. And monocarpic plant of Strobilanthes cothania has a lifespan of 12 years. In the 12th year it flowers, fruits and die. So the plant came to flower in September October 2006, and then in August to October in 2018, and the flowering covers the large hilly tract of the Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, okay, in blue stretches that attract a large number of the tourism. So that is the difference between the monocarpic, polycarpic, perennial, annual and biennial plants. Next we studied what is the difference between the bisexual, unisexual, homothallic, heterothallic, staminate and pistillate. Bisexual organism with with both male and female reproductive structure. Then unisexual organism with either the male or the female reproductive structure. Now homothallic or the monoecious, example can be taken as cucurbits, coconut and maize. Both the male and the female flower are born on the same plant. Okay, so bisexual plants are monoecious in nature, and heterothallic or the dioecious, they have only one reproductive structure, that is on the separate plant, that is papaya, date palm or cycas. Again I am repeating, the male and the female flowers are born on the different plants. Now here in the figure, this is an important figure, you see that examples are given: bisexual animal, earthworm; unisexual animal, cockroach; then monoecious plant, dioecious plants, where the monoecious again it is given chara, that is because both male antheridium and the female eugonia sex organ are present on the same plant. And for this liverwort, male plant bears the antheridia over antheridiophore, and the female plant bears archegonia over a special structure which is known as the archegoniophore. Okay. Now next we will study the three different stages in sexual mode of reproduction. Now, in all the sexually reproducing organism, in spite of the morphological, anatomical and physiological differences, the fundamental events in sexual reproduction are the same. These are very complex and follow a regular sequence. That is, these events are the pre-fertilization events, fertilization events and post-fertilization events. Now, for pre-fertilization events, it refers to all the events that occur before the fusion of the gamete or the fertilization. Then the fertilization occurs, that means the fusion of the male and the female gamete, and then after the formation of the zygote, the multiplication of the zygote and the development of the embryo occurs. Now today we will be discussing about the pre-fertilization event. Now pre-fertilization events in sexual reproduction occurs before fertilization. It includes two main processes, that is the gametogenesis and the gamete transfer. Gametogenesis means where gametos means gamete and genesis means production. That means the gametogenesis is the process of the formation of gametes, and there are two types of gametes, that is the male gamete and the female gamete. Now here you have to remember the definition of gametes and gonads. Gametes are the cells of specialized sex containing haploid number of chromosomes. These are produced from gonads and are of two types, that is male and female gamete. Now the gametes may be similar looking structure or they can differ as in higher animals. Now homogametes or the isogametes, when the male and the female gametes are similar in appearance and they cannot be distinguished morphologically, then they are called homogametes as in Chlamydomonas. Now heterogametes, when the gametes are morphologically different in some of the organism, they are termed as heterogametes, and in such organism male gamete is termed as anthrozoids or sperm, or they are called microgametes because they are generally small and motile in nature. Female gamete are large, they are non-motile and they are called macrogametes. Okay, so most organism including humans, they produces heterogametes. Now what are gonads? Gonads are the reproductive organs which produces gametes, like testis is the gonad which produces male gamete, that is sperm. Now here you have to remember all these three figure. Okay, heterogametes of fugus, that is these are the types of the gametes, where is heterogametes of fugus, that is an alga, then the heterogamete of human beings, okay, and then the isogametes of the alga, that is a cladophora. Now next, cell division during gamete formation. Now gametes are haploid in nature, so the parent body from which they arises could be either haploid or diploid. Okay, so if the parent body is haploid, the gametes are produced by mitotic division, and if the parent body is diploid, the gametes are produced by meiosis or the reduction division, as we see in humans or the angiosperm. So the parent organism has specialized cells called myocytes, and these are called gamete mother cells that undergo the process of meiosis or the reduction division. Okay, so these myocytes or the gamete mother cell are diploid, which give rise to gametes that are haploid in nature. So whatever the chromosome number in myocytes, they are 2n, that is diploid in nature, and the gametes are haploid in nature. Let's take one example. If we take human beings, then the myocytes in human being is 46, that is the number of the chromosome, that is diploid, which is 46. Then gamete will be haploid, that is 23. So myocytes are the cells which undergo meiosis to produce haploid structure and are always diploid in nature. Gametes are always haploid in nature. Okay. Now next is the gamete transfer. After the formation of the male and female gametes, that is after the gametogenesis, there is the need of transfer, that is the gamete has to be brought together to facilitate fusion. Now in most of the organism, have male gamete that is motile and female gamete that is stationary. In some of the fungi and algae, both type of gametes are motile in nature. Okay. In case of heterogametes, there are stationary non-motile female gametes and motile male gametes. Now, in bryophytes, pteridophytes ova occur inside archegonia and the sperm are motile. So, they require a medium for the transfer of the gametes. Okay, that means gametes generally needs a medium through which the male gamete moves when they are motile and the female gamete is non-motile. In several example, we can take algae, bryophytes, pteridophyte. Water is the medium through which gamete transfer occurs. So all the gametes during this transfer, all the gametes do not reach the female gamete. Okay, now why? Because there is always a loss of a large number of the male gametes during transference. Hence, to compensate this loss, the male gametes are produced in several thousand times the number of female gametes are produced. Okay. Now, in seed plants or in the flowering plants, pollen grains carry male gametes and ovule carries the egg. So, pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. That means pollen grains carry the male gamete, they are again formed in large number and they are transferred to the stigma of the female gametes and through the process of the pollination. Now, pollination precedes fertilization, which is of two types, self pollination and the cross pollination. Now, in self pollination, the pollen grains of an anther are transferred to the stigma of the same bisexual flower because the anther and the stigma are close to each other. So, the transfer of the pollen grains is easy. And in cross pollinating plants, that is including dioecious, it occurs through the mechanism, that is many mechanism you can say. Okay, in cross pollination that occurs both in the bisexual and the unisexual flowers. The pollen grains are carried to the stigma of the other flower to the agency, that is the wind or the water or the insects, where the pollen grains germinate over the stigma, produces pollen tubes. Then these pollen tubes carry the male gamete to the ovule and burst open to release male gametes near the female gamete or the egg. Okay, so most of the animals are dioecious or unisexual, so they prefer either the cross fertilization or the union of gametes belonging to different parents, that is biparental. So in the next we will be dealing with the fertilization, the self fertilization, cross fertilization, what is the difference between the syngamy and the fertilization. So that's all for today's class. Make a note of it, whatever the topic is being taught in today's class, and for the rest keep revising, keep learning, and okay. So thank you for today's class.